Everyone has a lesson. Whether it's good or bad, you can learn from it. Happy Valentine's Day! On this episode, this topic will be about Valentine's Day. I hope you enjoy and learn a lesson.
When I was a freshman, I was dating this guy, and the beginning was honestly really nice. And, you know, like the honeymoon phase kind of thing. And he knew what my favorite meal was. He asked me a lot of those kind of questions, what my favorite kind of things were. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like he kind of took that into account when putting together what he did for Valentine's Day. So he was an RA on one of the floors. The building, there was kitchens on every other floor, and on his floor there was a kitchen area. And so what he did was he put a sign on the door to one of the kitchens, and he wrote, don't interrupt, date in progress. And he kind of gathered up all my favorite sort of meals, mm-hmm. and cooked them all for me. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it was really cute. And he had some cute lights in his room, and we got to chill and just have the food and just talk, and we watched the movie Valentine's Day. And it was really cute because, you know, we were just starting out our relationship, and it was so nice because that was during that period of time, you know, because no one's ever really taken that much consideration as to what I like and what almost just put something together just for me like that. So, you know, I have really fun memory of that. That was probably one of my favorite memories with that whole situation.
That's awesome. What kind of food did he make for you?
He made chicken marsala, which is my favorite meal, and then there was a garlic bread with cheese in it or something, and I think we had lava cakes after. He went all out.
All of that?
Yeah.
What?
He went all out. Yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome. It was definitely the peak of everything, right. But it was awesome, you know.
And so now, are you guys still dating or
no? No. That's okay.
It's okay. You have a great memory, so it's fine.
Yeah. I try to look at it like that, you know.
Yeah,
definitely. I feel if you look at it with just negativity, then it's just going to ruin those kinds of memories. So, but yeah, so that was probably my fondest Valentine's Day memory, especially because I've never really, besides that, I've never had someone during Valentine's Day. I was always pretty much single. So it was nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So out of all of that, do you have any lessons that you learned throughout your Valentine's Day experience, or just in relationships in general? I'm trying to think. You know, I think it's definitely important to be with someone who listens to you and just, just listens to you and also just tries their best to do what you want for you, I guess. You know, they have your best interest at heart. Yeah.
With that, there's no selfishness involved with that. He totally did that on his own kind of thing. I was totally surprised.
That's so nice.
So, it was so cute. And I think just from, that, plus maybe the relationship in itself, it's just important to find someone and be with someone who listens to you and wants to get to know you and has that sort of interest in you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Aw, that's so sweet. Dang, I wish I had that in my relationships. But it's okay, maybe one day.
You will, don't worry.
Yeah. So, are you a hopeless romantic?
Not anymore. I think I used to be when I was younger.
How come?
And more, I guess. I think I just had a more idealistic view of relationships and stuff. And I don't like admitting it too, you know, because I shouldn't allow negative experiences to impact that. But I do just feel some sort of negative experiences I've had with dating and everything, versus having been a hopeless romantic and having those expectations, that's kind of been destroyed a bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of part of growing up too, trying to learn what I guess you find important in relationships and other people, with other people and everything, including like romantic relationships. And I think it can be seen as a bad thing, but I also feel like it's important. It's good in a way that it helps you learn. It helps you like look at things with a more realistic view.
Definitely.
You know, because I think when you're like a hopeless romantic, you're kind of like looking at things like everything's great and everything's so happy all the time. When no, relationships are a lot of work, and it's fun. You know, it's great, but there's also work involved. So, and it's just all about figuring out kind of where your boundaries lie and like how much you do want to put in certain amounts of work to certain things and into certain people. So yeah.
Definitely. So are you talking to anyone right now, or are you single?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Any plans on this day?
So I think we might go out together, just like get some drinks or something. Nothing too special because it's kind of just started, so I don't think we're gonna do anything like super special.
Well, thank you so much for being on Lessons Learned.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Hi, Vanna. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being on Lessons Learned.
Oh, happy to be here.
So today's topic is about, Valentine's Day. Do you have anything to say?
I was like asking Jerry, my fiance, about if he remembered any good Valentine stories, and he said that he remembered when I cooked some lamb. So I had made him lamb, and I never cooked. I don't remember it, but it's one of the things that he remembers because it was so touching and so out of character. And then as we were talking, he also remembered. So he was making this big trip because we never really go or do anything for Valentine's Day. This is a different one from the lamb. And so, unknown to me, he planned this big trip to this really nice resort. And he's such a planner that he planned it months ahead, half a year in advance. Of course, I didn't have any idea because I didn't pay any attention. But he planned it so far ahead that they started doing renovations on the hotel. Water damage, he says. That it was water damage. And so they started trying to fix it, and they didn't tell him that they were fixing it and that they were basically closed. So he called them because he hadn't heard anything in months about the reservation. And when he called, they went, oh, shoot. And they tried to get him to reschedule, and he said no, because it was for Valentine's. And we couldn't, reschedule it. It's supposed to be for a specific day. And so they were like, okay, well, you guys can come in. They upgraded our suite. They had champagne and chocolate in the room. They were all very apologetic. We had the place to ourselves. There was just one other couple there. And it was lovely. It was a wonderful, quiet, relaxing event that almost didn't happen thanks to the water damage.
Wow.
But it all worked out, and it's still pretty memorable and awesome.
And where was this?
Stonehenge.
And where?
In Kingsborough. We didn't see any water damage. I think by the time that we had gotten there, maybe they were maybe a couple weeks from opening. A lot of the rooms were closed, and there wasn't any carpet on the ground. The place itself was beautiful, and you could tell that it was definitely, it would have had a lot of people in there if not for it. Oh, and they gave us half off or something like that. They discounted it as we're so sorry you have to be here sort of situation.
Wow.
It was a ghost town, but it was a beautiful wooded resort area. Lots of it's called but there was lots of, like, granite stone, this big, huge staircase going up. And the suite that we had was, like, this really beautiful, homey suite with, like, there was a deck, and we had breakfast out on that deck, like, the day after. It was gorgeous.
So out of all of that, what did you learn?
I learned that I had a very loving fiance. I think I learned to just go with the flow, because, you know, you could be, like, angry and be mad at them for, like, scheduling something, but just going with the flow gave us this, like, memorable and awesome experience for 50% off.
Something memorable and cheap. You know, you can't beat that.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, is there anything you want to say, any last things you want to say about lessons learned on Valentine's Day?
Interesting question. I would say, like, always be, like, open. Like Valentine's Day, a lot of people have this, like, mentality of, you know, if I don't have somebody, I'm, like, done. Or, like, you know, I can't enjoy this holiday unless I have the person, like, this specific dream idea person with me, and that's not really true. Like, Valentine's Day, like, you can just enjoy the idea of love, even if you don't necessarily have a boyfriend or a girlfriend with you, right? Like, just, again, just, like, go with the flow. Like, you know, everyone's expressing how much they like other people, and it's a good day to do it. Another thing that happened kind of around Valentine's Day, maybe a little bit before, because it was like this winter study thing that Williams College has. It's basically like a month that you get off and you don't have to do anything. Mm-hmm. I was hanging out with this group of people. They're all called, like, the Odd Quad. And they're just, like, really, like, interesting or different kind of people. They would sing, like, classical music. And a lot of them were in, like, the, like, old school instruments program. And just, like, a lot of, like, you know, people, like, left the center. Mm-hmm. And so I can remember I was hanging out with this dude. And the same, whatever, he was also left of center. There wasn't anything wrong with him, but he was just, you know, hanging out there, and he, like, offered to walk me home. And, I mean, I was, like, an idiot, like, 20-year-old, so I didn't know what that meant. And so he walked me, like, halfway across the campus, and the whole time he was asking me, like, all these questions about, like, oh, well, what are you, like, interested in? What do you want? Again, just a completely, like, I was an oblivious 20-year-old. And, so we kept walking, and then all of a sudden, I was, like, he had asked me, like, oh, well, you know, what do you think about, like, certain types of guys that do, like, you know, that, like, beat around the bush? And I, in my infinite 20-year-old wisdom, was like, oh, I hate that. I hate when guys beat around the bush. I wish some guys would just be direct with me, you know. And so this guy, to his credit, his absolute credit that I remember to this day, literally turned around in the middle of the street and, like, gave me a big hug and tried to give me a kiss. And it was at that moment that I realized that I had fucked up. And that I was like, oh, he was talking about himself. He's trying to hit on me. It all came crashing down in one, like, solid second that I was, like, totally leading this guy on. I was trying to have a serious, intense discussion. He was trying to get with me, and I just didn't understand. And so, of course, I had to backpedal. I had to all of a sudden be like, oh, no, I didn't mean you, and, you're really cool, I just think we should be friends, and, I had to, retreat into my dorm, because he wasn't part of the college for a whole different reason, and, I ran upstairs into my room, and I never saw the dude again. Never saw him again in my entire life.
That's so crazy. He just disappeared?
I just avoided him like the plague. I just never, I just was so embarrassed that I just never sought him out. Seth, if you're listening to this on the offhand chance, my bad. I feel real bad.
Oh my goodness. So, what did you learn out of all that?
Watch what you say. Pay attention to your surroundings. Don't be a dick. If you're what people sometimes are thinking and what you're thinking are, two different things. And you really need to pay attention so you don't hurt somebody's feelings. I'm sure I hurt his feelings.
Thank you so much for your story.
Oh, anytime.
Thank you for listening to Lessons Learned. I hope you come back next week.